Totally Beads, how are you doing today? It's quite a dull morning again, but we did have a lovely weekend. It was very warm, very odd. It was like a summer's day in the middle of October. Well, the start of October. So how are you? Let me know what you've been up to this weekend. What have you got planned for this week? What are you making? What are you working on? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some lovely little Halloween themed skull earrings. I think they're really, really lovely. I've got a ghoulish gold and a spooky silver to show you. They're really straightforward to make. They're a bargain price. You can buy additional components as well. So if you really like them as much as I do and you want to gift them to people, I think they're really, really nice gift. I wouldn't suggest anyone's too old for trick or treating, for chocolate sweets or candies, but sometimes you get quite a lot, don't you, around that time. So if you do have anyone maybe a little bit older with their ears pierced that would, like something other than sweets, then this is a good one. Maybe you've got some nieces or grandchildren or children, or you just want to wear them yourself. I know I'm going to be wearing mine. So I'm going to say a quick hello to you, and then I'm going to take you over to the website and show you the goodies, the ghoulish goodies we've got today. Linda says, good morning to everyone. She's in a very sunny Watford. Good morning to you, Linda. Hello to Star, who's in Manchester. Who else have we got in? We've got the lovely Rachel. She says, good morning from Barrow, dull today and still no wind for a change. Good morning to Jan. She says hello to everybody. Good morning to Camille. She says, hope you're well and you had a great weekend. I did. Thank you so, so much. I hope you did too. It was a friend's 40th birthday party, so we went round to their house and had a couple of drinks. It was very relaxed and very, very lovely. And then yesterday I went for a walk in the park and we tried to get the little one to ride his bike. Plodding on, pedalling forward. Good morning to Jan. She says, it's fair and sunny in Sudbury today, so making the most of the weather. Angela says, good morning, Natalie. Weather is slightly better today. Joy's in as well. She says she's watching in bed. She's not feeling well and she's got a very bad cold. I hope you're okay, Joy. Make sure you've got lots of fluids, maybe a nice cup of tea, put your feet up and get plenty of rest. Good morning to Anne. She says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Good morning to Teresa. My mum's in. Hello, Kath. How are you doing? I'm missing you. I'm not seen you for ages. Jan says, love these earrings. Bought my kits early. Oh, thank you so much, Jan. Elaine says, good morning to everybody. Denise is in as well. Tina's in as well. She says, hello, fine ladies and gentlemen. Victoria's in. Lucy's here. Debbie's in as well. Angela says, my order's in. Taking daughter and grandkids to Disneyland Paris for Halloween. So these would be great. Have the most magical spellbinding time. I hope you just have so much fun, Angela. Good morning to R, who's watching from Portugal. Good morning to you. Good morning to Joanne. She says, good morning, Natalie. Overcast with a slight chill. Perfect October day. Finally getting all the felted bits on the baby mobile. Pictures soon. Been looking forward to the Halloween make today. Lucy says summer was almost back. I know. And she's also pleased she's woke up on time. So we've got lots of you in, which is lovely. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for giving me the weather update. It's a very British streak. We like to chat about the weather. I know you might watch this back in so many months' time and think, well, at least I know now what it was like on October the 9th. So I'm going to take you over to the website. We are on totallybeads.co.uk, where you can find all your lovely, lovely kits. And I'm going to take you into the video tutorial section here. There's lots of ways to get into this, but I like to click on the big logo and it takes me into Learn to Make Jewellery. So today I'm doing the Halloween skull earrings, and I didn't give them a name. Usually name things a female name, or give them a bit of personality, but these, I don't think they need them. They are what they are. You can see the components we've got for you today. I've got a beautiful gold pair of Halloween skull earrings. They are £1.99. And your Halloween skull earrings in silver, the spooky, spectacular silver, is also £1.99. Now, when I end up getting my treats in for trick-or-treaters and my little one. My husband tends to eat most of them, but we spend an absolute fortune on sweets. Now, I know not everybody wants trick-or-treaters, and that's absolutely fine. I do, so we tend to pop a pumpkin outside and we decorate the house. But we spend an awful lot more than £1.99 on sweets. So I think to have these lovely Halloween themed earrings for £1.99 is an absolute bargain. If you want to buy extra and you want to get more kits, you're most welcome to do that. If you just want to buy the extra components, I've got these gorgeous hematite skulls, which are 8x10mm, which is what I'm working with today. They'll be the same on the gold or the silver, because I think the contrasting kind of that metallic look just look beautiful. They're only £4, which is an absolute bargain. You know, these are beautiful hematite skulls. You've got those gorgeous kind of earthen properties. They're a beautiful kind of, they are shiny, but you've also got that kind of matte metallic look to them as well. They're gorgeous. And I'm using these lovely little iron tube beads, which are 7mm. You get 100 pieces of them for £1.50 if you want to buy more. I had put these in a kit, which I was hoping to do in the future. So I do hope they're still available when I come to use them, but I couldn't resist using them today. I love, as I say, the contrast of metals there. So you've got some gold ones, which are £1.50, or you can get your silver ones as well for £1.50. Absolute bargains for you today. I'm going to show you what's inside your kit. So in the gold kit, which is £1.99, you're making one pair of earrings up. You're going to get 2 pieces of your gorgeous hematite skull beads, so you can place them on each earring. I'm using the earring studs this time. I just thought they looked quite nice. I think they're very elegant and very, very chic. So although I'm saying they're Halloween themed, I know a lot of people, me personally, who would happily wear these all year round. You're also getting your eye pin with that, so that's what I'm going to make that double connector with. We've got some head pin balls, so ball pins, which I'm going to be making those little dangling tassel type things off. We've also got the iron tube beads, and you're getting some chain as well. I'm using about 6 centimetres of chain in one pair of earrings, so there'll be about 3 centimetres in each. If you do have any extra chain, and it should be measured out for you in the kit, you can make these longer, you can make them smaller. If you didn't want to include the chain, you could just dangle those little iron tube beads off them, off that first eye pin if you fancied. You could do whatever you wanted with this. You could also add less of those on if you wanted to make it look like he's got a little body. So you could give him, say, like 2 arms and 2 legs. What I will say is I've placed them like this deliberately. Just be careful with your placement. If you are creating a little body and you're doing 2 arms and 2 legs, if you dangle one off the centre in the middle, it may look like another appendage, and that might be something you're quite happy with, but just be mindful of that. So they're your gorgeous gold, and these are your beautiful, stunning silver. I think I prefer the gold, which is quite unusual because I do wear predominantly silver jewellery rather than gold jewellery. But you can see there's this lovely little skull head and those lovely little dangles coming off the bottom. Everything you need is in your kit today to make one gorgeous pair of very stylish, spooky earrings. They're £1.99. You're getting your hematite skull beads, which aren't too weighty actually. Hematite is quite a weighty metal, and I think that's why it's attributed to grounding. I'm not going to go into all the properties, but it's been well loved for a long, long time. You get it usually plated in lots of gorgeous different colours. These are, I think, how it looks. But if you were to grind this down, it would become like a red powder, which is where it gets its name from. Heme, as in hemoglobin, hematite. So it's been used as, you know, representation of protection. Warriors used to adorn their kind of shields with it, and their face paint and all sorts of things like that. But I absolutely love the hematite. It is usually weighty, but these aren't that heavy, to be honest. So in terms of earrings, they are very, very comfortable to wear. So that is everything in your kits today. As I say, if you want to buy those extra components, you can do. It's going to be a very quick make because they are a very simple make to do. But they look, I think, very, very lovely. And I really hope you like them too. Do get them, and you can get them all year round. You can wear them now and you can wear them all year round. I think anyway. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to have a little scroll up where my computer kicks back in and allows me to do so. And I'm going to say hello to anyone that I may have missed before I get started. Here we are. So let me see. Who have I missed? Good morning to Jan. She says, I made a wire wrap spider web over the weekend. Just have to decide what to do with it. I was and ahhing what to do for today. And I think earrings are just a nice go-to. You can make these into clip-ons really easily as well if you want to. I did decide on this, but I did and ah whether I wanted to do a spider web. And I did make a little one up as a kind of prototype. And I was going to make either quite large earrings, Jan, or I was just going to make it as a pendant. You could also, if you've got like a door wreath or something, you could dangle it off that. But please do share your wire wrap spider. I'd very much like to see it. We have done things before in previous years, so if you're thinking, what other spooky wonders can I make, then I do have a YouTube page which I've started to put into kind of categories, so you can always find them on the Totally Beads website. But if you want to come and find me, I think it's just Natalie Patton, and there's a playlist there. It's got all of our Totally Beads tutorials on, but there's one which I've broken down into Halloween, so you can see we've done quite a few different things. We've done decorations, we've done little cat earrings. I think last year I've done wire wrap pumpkin pendants. You can still get your kits for them, I'm sure, on the website. I suggested to Kitty to do, I think it was like brick stitch that she did, and she did some lovely little witches hats which were gorgeous. So, you know, feel free to go back and have a little look at past things we've done as well. Sheila says, good morning, fellow beaders, spending a few days in Windermere visiting the family. It's a bit grey but no wind. I hope you have a lovely time and stay dry. Angela says we're not on a flood warning anymore, so that's always good. It is always good. Good morning to Teresa. She says it's cold in Georgia, USA. Lucy says she turns the lights off and she ignores the door. Not everybody wants to do trick or treating, and that's absolutely fine. I always encourage, when I have gone out with my little one in the past, that we just knock on the doors that are very clearly doing it, and they've got, you know, their decorations up and things like that. The only issue is that when we go out trick or treating, there's no one then to open the door at our house because we like to go together. I like getting dressed up. I'm a big kid. So I tend to just put some sweets out on the front as well so they can help themselves. But it's been a few times I've come back because I've forgotten something and I've literally gone halfway up the road and someone's just emptied the full content into their bag. But yeah, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Good morning to Mina. Jan says, I used to Halloween when my kids were small. I just love it. Such an exciting time for me. Carol says hello to everybody. Trish is in as well. Angela's giving me a Jack Skeleton. He is a bit like Jack Skeleton. Yeah, you can call him whatever you want to, or she, or they, whatever you think. I like the fact they've just got a little bit of character to them. Jan says, I bought the skulls and the iron tubes as well as the kit. Jan, I can't wait to see what you do with them. Hello to Monica, how are you doing? Lucy has shared the link for you today. So if you're wondering where are the kits, this is the link that should take you through to the Totally Beads tutorials and my Halloween skull earrings today. Mina says, I've got lots of clay colour bead skulls, so I'm excited to see what you've done with them. I know Joe shared, I've been playing about, we did like little skull and crossbone bracelets with hematite beads last year, the year before. I've done so much because we've got some lovely Halloween bits and charms and things in at the warehouse. But I played about with the howlite and they're really colourful and really lovely. And I know Joe's been making bracelets and she's been sharing them as well. So just have a little look what's on the website, what you want to kind of make with, and possibilities are endless. Angela's saying she doesn't do Halloween either. Well, some people do Samhain, some people just celebrate the harvest. It depends, I suppose, where you are in the world and what you're into. Mina says, I use the skull beads to make necklaces for boys. Okay. Joanne says, these look great. I know a few who'd love these. Yeah, I thought actually, Joanne, you've got fans of the monochrome, haven't you? So I think these will go down a trick or treat for you as well. Sue says, good morning to everybody. Lucy says, I was looking at the cat earrings the other day and the witch's hats. They're just sweet. Joanne says, I love doing the pumpkins last year. Was that last year? Was that the year before? I think I did cats last year. I don't know. Simon's telling me he's the boss at the warehouse, and he's allowed me to do one Halloween make, because I think he knows I'd just be like, let's make this, let's make that. I'm allowed to do more than one Christmas make, but I think he's reining me in a little bit, which is fair enough. Good morning, Phoenix. She says, good morning, lovely. Meg says hi. Meg's the doggy, and says no fireworks. She gets scared. Yeah. Good morning to Birgit. How are you doing? Mina says she made the witch's hat, and Camille says, I used to buy loads of sweets for the trick-or-treaters, but over the last few years nobody came, so she's not bothering anymore. It's hit and miss. I think right now where we live, there's lots of young people, so it does get quite busy, and some of the houses like really go to town when it comes to decorating, and it's loads of fun. You can see I'm a happy bunny. Right, I'm going to take you down on the mat and I'm going to show you these. It's really straightforward to do, and they're really, really pretty. Phoenix says, my friend Pam loves anything Halloween all year round. She works with kids and students and is a communication support person. She teaches lip reading, sign language, and helps with special needs. That sounds like the best job ever, Phoenix. Apart from mine, that sounds really good. Hello, Josh. Well, Josh, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so here they are. There's only 2 colourways, but I don't know what more you could want. It's hard for me to show these to you because obviously they need to be dangling, and when they're in, they're going to look much better. Also, my light is reflecting an awful lot of these beautiful hematite beads, but if I just turn his little head, you can see he's got such a sweet little face. Hello. So I didn't really want to make them like bodies, but I do think it gives that look. If you wanted to make it a little bit shorter, or you just wanted to put 4 on each one, so you've got those dangling arms and legs, they look absolutely just sweet. But I have made them more like dangling tassels. You could say they were maybe like his ribs or something. But you're going to see with having that chain in the middle, it's going to cause that beautiful movement, and they just, I love them. I think this is possibly one of my favourite makes. And here it is in silver as well. Star says love them. Phoenix says she's made a shaggy loop bracelet, all bone coloured howlite skulls. Lovely. So this is your silver. You can see that beautiful bead all the way round. It's just got the most lovely finish on it. Teresa says you could make Jack and Jill. And Camille says the inner child coming out. What inner child? My inner child's out all the time. It's not inner, it's always an outer. Joanne says, where we live now, we don't get many, which I find a little sad, but I still get the goodies and bag them up for family, friends and little ones. Don't really decorate anymore. There's not many visitors to see the spookiness. That's fair enough. I love carving my pumpkins, and each year I set myself a new challenge to make an even better one. But I think I'm going to be away over Halloween, so I don't think I'm going to do it this year. I'll be celebrating elsewhere. Don't know where, but I will. So there are lovely earrings. I'm going to start, and I think given the fact that they're quick makes, I might make one of each, so you'll see the silver and the gold. So these are my beautiful hematite skulls. They're all pretty much the same. They're all shiny. They're all very, very lovely. Phoenix is laughing at me being a big kid. So I'm going to take my gold eye pin, and I'm going to slide that up. So the loop is already, that's already made, is going to be on the bottom. Camille says, and I've got the matching nails. I've gone for my Sagittarius star sign and a little bit of an astrology theme today. I couldn't not. You know what? I would have dressed up if it was closer to the actual event. I'd probably sit near in a witch's hat. So I've just thread on my lovely little eye pin. Now you're going to get your eye pins and your ball pins. Your eye pins got that loop already on it. Your ball pins have got that gorgeous ball tip finish, and that's going to stop the tubes just sliding off the end. They fit really nice. So I'm going to pop my skull on. It will rotate, so don't worry about which way you put it on. If you make your loop and it's facing that way, as I say, it's got that lovely, lovely movement. So I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to bend it to about 90 degrees. So I'm bending it right back against that lovely skull. I'm going to come in with my cutters and I'm going to trim off, leaving about a centimetre. So there's a centimetre between the skull bead and my cutters. I'm using the flush side and I'm holding onto the end of that pin. So when I give it a trim, it's not going to fly away anywhere. I might just see how many Halloween puns I can get in. Josh says, still watching, but going to do so via YouTube and TV. Ooh, I'm going to be on the big screen. Okay, I'm now taking my round nose pliers and I'm going to make a smallish loop. So I only want to use the small end of my pliers. Your round nose will be tapered, so it gets smaller at the bottom and wider at the top. If I want a bigger loop, I'm going to move up towards the handles. If I want it smaller, I'm moving it down towards the bottom. I'm going to place it in between whereabout I want it. If you've got your loopers, you can use your looper tool as well, and that will make your loops exactly the same on both of them. Or if you've got your bail step making pliers, which are these, you can use this as well. And I would say use the smaller one. And then again, you're going to make sure that your loops are exactly the same size, but it really doesn't matter. I'm gently running my finger over my round nose just to make sure it's not sticking out. If this is flush, then I'm going to turn all of that pin. If I've got a bit of my pin sticking out, that bit's not going to turn. So I'm going to hold it with my thumb in place and I'm going to give it a little twist up. That gives it a little flick like so, and then I reposition my hand. So I'm not putting loads of pressure on my hand. I'm just going to give it little rotations with my wrist. So I've turned that little loop and you'll see because I've bent it, that loop is sitting neatly on the top. If I need to adjust, so if I think it's not quite sitting central, it's a bit more P than an I, I'm just going to pop my round nose pliers back in and give it a little knock back, a little tilt. So I've now got my double connector. If you really want them to be running the same direction and they're not quite because it's turned slightly, very gently, just give it a little twist with both pliers. And you'll see I've created that loop running up and down. Now I'm going to either attach directly onto my ball pin, not my ball pin, my ear ball stud, that's the word I'm looking for, or I can start with my chain. So I'm going to add my stud. So I'm going to just give that a little flick to open. And I'm going to slide on my gorgeous ball ear pin. So you can see it's got a little, the stud has got that gorgeous ball on the top, and then it's got a little loop at the bottom. This loop doesn't open, so I'm just sliding that on this way. Again, it doesn't matter which way round you pop it on because it will slide and it will move. So I'm popping that little loop I've made at the top just onto that ball ear stud, and then I'm just going to close that over. So I'm just flicking it back in the opposite direction to close that loop. And then your back of your earring is like this, and that will just slide on. So they fit really comfortably. Again, if you want to, you can attach that onto a clip-on style earring or any other ear wire that you fancy, but these are the ones that you're getting in your kit today. Okay, I'm going to take my chain, and I've got about 6 centimeters of my chain in my kit. I'll just lay that out for you so you can see there. You can, if you're using your own materials and you want to, make extras. You can use whatever chain you want. I've got something which I think is quite fine and delicate in terms of the links, but still big enough to be able to attach my loops on. In terms of inches, that works out at just under 2.5 inches, between 2.25, 2.5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split that directly down the middle. So I'm going to get my chain out of my kit. I'm going to bend it, so I'm going to get my links kind of lined up so I can find the center. When I think I've found that central link, I hold it up together and just watch it dangle down and check that they're even. If I do find that one link is slightly, just one link is longer than the other, then I will make sure that this link I open goes on the side with one less, if that makes sense. If, like this, they are perfectly the same, then what I'm going to do is when I open this link out, I'll just not use that link I'm opening. So I'm just going to find the join in the chain, open it up like a jump ring and slide that off. And now I've got two perfectly matching pieces of chain. Again, if I wanted to, I could always count my links and then I know it's exactly precise. Jan says, I didn't get fine chain in my kits. In these kits, Jan, it should be included. It really doesn't matter what chain you're using. It just, might slightly change the look, but you don't really see the chain much on it anyway. It just gives it that lovely kind of movement and dangle, really. So you can use whatever you want. Is it this kit that you're on about? Because it will be in your kit if it's in the description. It might just not be in the material list, like component section. Sometimes we have everything there and sometimes we don't, but it is all included in your kit. So I'm going to give it a little flick. I will check then, Jan, with Simon, but the chain is included when I've given the material list in. So I'll just ensure that that's in your kit. So I'm going to just add that link on there to the loop on the bottom. And I'm going to close that over again. I'm going to make sure my loop is fully closed so my chain doesn't come off when I'm dangling and when they're dangling, when I'm wearing them. And I'll leave that to the side for the next one. Okay, now I'm taking my ball pins. I'm using 7 ball pins on each one for this design. So there'll be 2 at the top, 2 in the middle, and then I've got 3 dangling off the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't worry if your pins are a little bent, because you don't use much of them anyway. But you can see I can straighten that out with my fingers, and it doesn't affect the usage. And then I'm gonna, where do you dangle from? Says Camille. I don't know. And then I'm going to get my lovely little iron tubes out. So I'm just popping one iron tube onto each one. And I'll show you these. They're really, really lovely. So they look like this. And they've got the hole that runs all the way through. And they're just a lovely, lovely colour. So I'm now just going to slide my tubes onto my ball pins, and you'll see that the ball pins just ensure they don't fall off the end, but they give it that beautiful finish. I think it looks like a very professional finish. I think you could buy these in a designer jeweller's and I think they'd look quite at home. So I'm just going to slide on my pins, my tubes onto my ball pins, and then I'm going to do the same. Now if you wanted to, you could wrap loop these, but I don't think it needs it. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to bend them over the top, close down to where that pin finishes, just over that little iron tube, so it's kind of locked into place. I'm going to do exactly the same, where I'm going to cut, leaving about 1 centimetre. Again, you can use your looper tool with this if you want to. You can use whatever you find easiest. And I'm going to just make sure that's flush, and I'm going to start turning a little loop onto each of them. These pins are lovely to use, and I'm not too concerned whether, you know, my loops are exactly the same size on each one, there or thereabouts. So I'm going to do that 7 times. Now, because these are such quick makes, I've not done here's some I've made earlier. I'm just going to make it as I go. So little tiny rotations just to turn that loop. Does anybody have any Halloween jokes? I know Camille's always good for jokes. Let me think. Why didn't the skeleton go trick or treating? Because he had nobody to go with. I know. I mean, I'm just sitting in silence. It could be that you're just laughing loads, or you could just be scratching your head at me. I can't hear you, can I? So, I haven't got any jewellery related Halloween jokes, I don't think. Where does the werewolf get his beads from? The Totally Beads warehouse. Okay, I'm just going to stop because I'm just making them up now. Sorry. So, just making my pins. I'll get back to work. I'll stop chatting. Such a big kid. Love it. I mean, I'm a witch all year round, so I don't need the encouragement. But this time of year, it just gets me very excited. I'm a crystal witch. So again, just making sure my pin is flush, and then rotating to make little loops that sit neatly on the top there. Good morning, Gwen. She says, good morning, everyone. Not been on for a while, and I've been watching. I thought I'd come back today. Lovely to see you. Or hear from you, rather. You've joined me making some gorgeous Halloween earrings and telling some awful Halloween jokes. Don't know any others. If you've got one, let me know. So we've got 2 coloured kits for you today. You can choose the gold or the silver, and they're a bargain price. I think they're $1.99. Oh, here we go. Here's Camille. What monsters play tricks on Halloween? Frankenstein. Boom, boom. What do baby ghosts like to play? Peek-a-boo. I have got some. There's some in there somewhere. Right, once I've made my 7 little dangles, I'm going to decide. You can see some of those loops aren't quite exactly the same, but they're there or thereabout if I lay them down on the table. I'm just going to start playing about with the placement of them now. All I'm going to do is make sure whatever I do to one earring, I'm going to do on the next one as well. So where I attach them, they're going to fit in the same kind of, they're going to dangle from the same part of the chain. So I'm just going to open it up by giving it a little tiny flick, and I'm going to attach the first one to that first link and close it over. Just going to make sure that that's closed fully. It locks it. And then I'm going to attach the next one on. And I think I'm going to attach that through the same loop as well. So you can see the links on my chain will be big enough to get a couple through. Doesn't matter where you place them, you can just choose yourself. As I say, just make sure it's the same on one as it is on the other. So I'm just hooking that through. I want to try and hook it onto the chain and not the other loop on the other iron tube. So essentially that could be his little arms. All I will say is if you are going to do just 5, just be mindful, as I say, of where you place them. Tina says, love it. She's giving me a smiling face. I don't know whether it's me or Camille's joke she's laughing at. Camille says, what kind of music do mummies love? Oh, I like that one. Rap music. Thanks, Camille. Can always depend on you. Okay, and then going to move down a little bit. So I'm going to look at this and go 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 links down from there. Going to attach that one. I'm going to attach both onto the same link. So you can see I've got one on that link there. The next one I'm also going to attach onto there. So they'll dangle from the same position, kind of on opposite sides. Do be gentle with your pins because they are nice and soft, which means they're really lovely to work with, but you don't need to open them up much at all. You can just gently open them by maybe 1 millimeter or 2. And then I like to just keep laying it down and having a little look at the placement of them and checking it. I'm happy. Camille says, you do realise I Google them. I can't remember my name, let alone the jokes. Well, better than making them up like I am. Okay, I think I'm going to then dangle the next 2 off the link before the very bottom link, so second one up. Again, it really doesn't matter where you position them. I'm not being precise with them at this time. I'm just looking to see what I think looks nice, spacing them out a little bit. And then if I decide I'm happy with where they are, I'm just going to make sure the next one I do, that they're in the same place. And then I'm going to dangle. I could have moved those up and they could have just gone slightly higher. Let's see what it looks like with 3 close to the bottom. So then they're kind of even on each side, and then the last one is going to go through the very bottom link. So I'm just going to position my chain so I can catch that bottom one and then close that over. There you go. You can see how quick it is to make. You'll be able to make these earrings in about 5 minutes. Just think it's so lovely. I will put them in as well so you can see what they look like. So I've made a little gold one. I'm going to make a little silver one too. So exactly the same. I'm going to take my pin. I'm going to slide on my little hematite skull. I'm going to bend close to the top. We'll see how quickly I can make this one. Bend it over to a 90-degree angle. I'm going to give it a trim about 1 centimetre away. I'm going to take my round nose pliers, making sure it's fairly flush, and start to turn that loop. Made that a little bit wonky, but I'm not too concerned. I can straighten it out. Just want to make sure it's fully closed. If I want to reposition so they're lined up, I'm gently going to give it a twist. So my loop is on the top and the bottom of that skull. And then I'm going to take my chain. I'm going to cut it so it's even on both lengths. So I should have about 3 centimeters on each one. Yeah. I'm then going to open that little loop on the bottom just a little bit. I'm going to thread my chain on and close that over. And then I'm going to get my iron little tube beads, this time in silver. They look like that. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Teresa says, make a triangle for the last one for a skirt. Oh, that's so cute. That's such a lovely idea, yeah. So what you would do is you could use your pins still, but one of them you'd want to make a double connector. So you could either use a eye pin, or you could use the offcut of one of your ball pins, and you could just turn loops on either side. So this is just an offcut of the ball pin that I'm using, and bending that over, giving it a little trim. So I'm making double connecting loops on each end. Again, you'd want to make sure that they're sitting straight. And then I would do that on the others and join them together. So you could do that and have, as you say, like your little skirt off the bottom. Attach them the same way on this pin, on these two pins. Attach both of the loops to, say, the last link. And you could even put your longer, you could make longer limbs if you wanted, because you're getting 7 for each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you could put 2 onto there. I really, really like that idea, Teresa. Camille says, remember to add your heart and thumbs up for our little witch, Natalie. Thank you. Anne says, I think I would add 2 tubes to the bottom to make them look more like legs, and wouldn't add the middle one. Yes, you can do whatever you want with these. I didn't want it to look properly like a body, but if you wanted to do that, you absolutely could. So you could put 2 there. Let me get another tube out. And then you could, I mean, if I can show you the length of your ball pins that you're getting, you're definitely going to be able to add 2 tubes on. If you wanted to add a little crystal on in between as well, you could do, make it like a knee joint, or you could attach them separately, and then the legs would bend and move a little bit more as well. So there's loads of things you can do to kind of play around with them. I will continue on in this design, and then I might place these ones slightly different so you can have a little look. So bending at the top of that tube, trimming off, leaving a centimetre, checking it's flush. I said, I'll see how quick I can do this one, and then just played about with designs. But that, I think, you know, when you've got to make like this, it's important to have fun with it and play around with it. That's what it's about. Camille says, wouldn't it be great if there were little bone beads? I did use, when I was playing around a few years ago with designs, we did have, they were kind of like opalite. Can't think what they're actually called, but they're kind of like a cleary kind of white colour, and they are shaped a bit like a tube, but then they kind of taper out each end, and to me they did look like little bones. I'll have to try and find, because I did make skeletons, and I made skeletons using I mean, it was very similar to this actually. I think I may have used this as his head. And I just did like, do you remember the little connectors we used on the Billy bracelets? They were silver with like a double-ended connector. I made them as ribs and used the pin to join them together. And then I made tiny little fingers essentially. So I made him a hand like using this, and then I just turned loops on the end and attached like little ball pins, so he looked like he had little fingers. Now what I want to show you is this. If you see this here, you'll see because I've not joined that link properly, that tube is able to move up really easily fixed. If you feel it is central, just close that up and then that will stop it sliding down. Maybe the peanut beads for the bones, maybe they were called peanuts, Teresa, yeah? Possibly. Phoenix is saying, I wonder if you can make a little rib cage and make him like a skeleton. Please play about with this design and please show me what you come up with, because I do think there's so many creative ways to use these. And as I say, I'll try and dig out my last little skeleton. I know I made spiders and I popped him on my door wreath. I made a door wreath out of conkers, and I put him on my door wreath. And then one year we made it was like a decoration, and I think we used the glass foil beads. There was one which was like a lovely toffee colour, and I made that as the skeleton, the spider's body, and we made like little door wreaths decorations with that. But I did make a lovely little skeleton. So I remember taking him quite proud to the warehouse, and there was a few people looking at me as to say, "What is that?" And he was lovely. He sits up and everything. So yeah, I've made this a little bit more stylish, just so they'd let me do it. Right, let me start playing around with these. So I should have 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brilliant. Okay. So again, I'm going to just figure out where I want them placed. I do quite like having the first 2 quite close up to that first bead. So I'm still going to put that on the first link. You don't have to have them running. You don't have to have them anyway at all. You can do whatever you want with them, but you don't have to have them running parallel, so to speak. So on the same link, you could just stagger them if you wanted to put this on the link below. I do quite like having this on the same link though. So all I'm doing is I'm just making sure I can see the chain link that I'm after. I've opened up my link or my loop on my tube bead, and I'm just sliding that on and giving it a little close over. And then I'm going to open up my next, and I'm going to put them fairly in the middle. Should have done 2 in the same, and then I could have kept a pair. But I think it's nice that you get to see both of the colourways. So I'm going to put that on the same link again. So just having a little look where it is. I'm hoping I'm in shot. And then closing that down. So to open it, I'm just flicking it up towards me and then away from me to close. I think this time I'm going to have it a little higher up. Sliding that one on, making sure my loop is fully closed. And the last one I'm still going to add to the bottom. All that is to do now is to attach to my little stud ring. So open up the loop at the top of that hematite skull, sliding on through the loop on the ear pin, closing over and adding on my back. Just want to make sure that's fully closed. There you go. Just love them. I'm going to put them in so you can see how they sit. I'll put one of each in. And they're really comfortable to wear. I like having, I tend to use the different shaped ear wires when I make my earrings. I tend to use the kind of like French hook ones. So that is in the silver. I think I got bit by a mosquito on my top of my ear. They're everywhere at the moment. I guess it's because it's warmer. And there is the gold. So they just dangle. Really, really sweet. I just absolutely love them. You can get your hands on these kits on the website. The website is totallybeads.co.uk. These are our Halloween skull earrings. They are £1.99 for either the silver or the gold, and you can buy the extra components as well. You can get those gorgeous 8 by 10 millimeter hematite skulls for just £4, and you can get the iron tube beads, which are 7 millimeter, either in the gold or the silver for just £1.50. An absolute bargain, I think, today. I just absolutely love them. I hope you have enjoyed being with me today as well. I will read any comments or questions I've missed when my camera starts working. There we go. Can you show us your nails for a few seconds, please, says Margaret. Yes, I absolutely can. In fact, I'll take you down on the mat and I'll give you a sneaky peek on what I'm doing on Friday. These are my nails. I did them last night. They're a little bit rushed, and I've managed to completely split my thumbnail, so don't look at that one. So these are my astrology ones, my little Sagittarius arrows. And this is what I'm making with you if all goes to plan on Friday. Absolutely gorgeous bracelets. You're only getting a sneaky peek, but I'm really, really proud of them. I love them. You're getting lots of colours. You can choose from your kind of rhodonite silver ones. We've got some gorgeous golds. We've got some rose golds. I just think they're beautiful, and I know my photos are not going to do them justice. So hopefully, all being well, Friday, this is what I'm going to do with you, if you can come and join me for that. Jan says, I made along with you. Yay, thank you for another gorgeous tutorial. I'm delighted you enjoyed them. Star says, fantastic, love them. Thank you, Natalie. You're welcome. Great make, says Rachel. Thank you, Natalie. Lovely make. Look forward to making them, says Joanne. And Jan says, ooh, which I think is regarding these beauties. I love them. I do love them. Lots of fun to make and quite simple as well. Not as simple as these. I am going to have to remind myself that I'm wearing them, because I'm going to end up, I don't know, can you wear one silver, one gold? If you're doing face painting, you can have opposite sides. Mina says, wow. Joanne says, they look nice. Margaret says, beautiful bracelet. Look forward to Friday. Great fun today. Thanks. You're welcome. Camille, thank you so much for playing along with me and keeping us entertained with the jokes. She says, it's lovely. Thanks for a fun tutorial, and have a great day, everyone. I love you millions. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous week, and I'm going to see you on Friday with the bracelet. So take care, everyone. Bye.